All right, Roger Martin here from Billings, Montana. I'm inside of Daily Marketing Coach by Ann Seig, and e-commerce arbitrage, selling products on eBay through Amazon. She talks about getting the right mindset, and one of the key elements to this is you have to own it. You can't you can't be an employee anymore. You've got to be an owner. You own it. In other words, you have to kick your own butt. You have to be responsible for what you do, and you have to be accountable to yourself for what you do. And if you screw up, you have to own it, and you have to improve yourself and take responsibility for yourself and what you do and what you don't do with this business. It becomes your baby. You can't just let it starve and die. You've got to feed it. You've got to wash it. You've got to clothe it. You've got to change the diapers. It's yours. You don't get time off. Not in the beginning. You own it until you become successful at it. You own it. And even when you own it, you have to improve on it so it doesn't become out-competed or out-marketed or out-sourced by someone else, or dead because someone else is doing a better job than you are. She talks about these different phases: the learning phase, implementation phase, the check and adjust phase, and the cycle back again, or to do it all again, but at higher levels, better levels, a skill set level. This is part of her training, but it is so key, so essential. And I got to kick myself in the butt because if I don't, it's not going to get done. It's got to be painful enough for me to motivate myself and to get it done. We get so complacent that we don't motivate ourselves. It's not painful enough to get it done. We can't light a fire underneath our butt, in other words. We have to develop a mindset and the habits to do that. Now we're going to go back up here. I like some of this stuff.
Oh, I'm going to get fat.
Now she talks about going to a gym as an example. In January, the gym is loaded with new members. They're going to go out and they're going to get it done. But come February, March, April, it weeds out and it's back to its home numbers again. They can't stick with it and get the job done. They quit. The honeymoon's over. They quit. They go on.
Really, that people, they buy with their eyes. Okay? Now
she talks about, you've got a headline or a tag with a heading on your listing. You've got a description. You've got a picture. You've got to get good at those skill sets, at the right headlines, the right description, the right picture, because you're competing with other people that are doing the same thing. So you've got to get a skill set that's good enough to outcompete those other listings, those other people. And you may have to learn how to take your own pictures and do your own skills in these areas.
In a scale, mom and dad who are to blame for it.
Now, this learning process, this mindset, you can't, if you're a CEO, you can't blame someone else. Buck stops here. You're responsible. You're going to do it, and don't give me any crap. I've got to get it done, and that's all there is to it. If I don't do it, it is not going to get done. Okay, so this preparation, this mindset, you own it. It has to be yours, and you have to motivate yourself.
It seems like everyone's to blame except themselves. And
Eeyore, where he's always had a gray cloud over his head, he couldn't do anything right. Well, he had a depleted soil type of mindset. Nothing can grow and produce in that type of negative, I can't do anything mindset. And you see that so pervasive in society that it is just sickening. You can't fall into that mindset. You got to do what you have to do to get out of that mindset and stay out of it.
Little segment of character attributes, just one of many, all factor into having a really healthy mindset. That I liken that to garden soil. You have soil that is completely devoid or
you have to have the nutrients in the soil to grow. It has to be rich, fertile soil to grow something in it. And many people don't have a fertile mindset. So it's a, I can't do anything mindset. Well, if you have that I can't do anything, guess what? You won't do anything, and you'll depend on others to get things done. And you just become a drain on yourself and other people. Because you won't pick up the ball and be responsible for your life and what's happening.
Sweat on the brow, and they accept that. So I want you to be really mindful of that, because it is oh so key to the rest. When you input, the next phase here, inputting simply means data.
Now this input, if you've got a fertile mindset, you're always going to feed your mind and your spirit stuff that is going to motivate you, push you, drive you to greater heights. You'll never be satisfied with lower levels of success. You'll always push yourself to greater levels of success. You'll always do that, and you have to do that. No one else can do it for you.
You program it. You kind of tell it what it needs to pay attention to. And that gets all dialed into your reticular activating system, from which all the external input data bombards, comes through that reticular activating system. And when you properly programmed your brain, it is put on alert, basically, that certain keywords, certain images will kind of elicit a different response because you've told your brain to do so. There's certain tricks to this, so we're going to get to that in a subsequent slide. So inputting, very, very important, because here's the thing, there's just too much data out there. So we got to set up the proper filters and mechanisms to weed out all the unnecessary data.
This is so key. There is a ton of crap out there that is just worthless dirt. But there are selective gems and selective thought processes that are gold nuggets, that are diamonds, that are gems. You need to find those gems and throw the rest of the dirt away. Because it's those gems, those seeds, those thoughts, those desires and drives, that if you focus and plant and water and nourish those things, you will produce not only a great harvest and a great profit and a great motivation, great drive, but great success and great accomplishment. So those things have to be.
And we have to deal with this, right? Anyway, so that's the inputting. There's a lot you can do in your control as far as what gets inputted into your brain.
All right, so here, let's continue.
Now we move on to processing. Higher level thinking. Higher level thinking, where you start to reorder information into more meaningful processes. It's not just a bunch of scattered information running around.
More meaningful processes, well, more meaningful information, more vital information, more systems and results. This is part of the processes. And applying these in a way that repeats this whole thing, grows in your fertilized soil, increases your selective input, and increases your results. These are all part of the process of Ann Seig's program and others. I've always dreamed about being a great motivator and a great achiever. I've let certain things stop me, and that has to stop. That has to be cut in the bud, in the very mind and in the very heart. And one has to finally say, I'm fully and completely responsible for the life I create and what I do with the resources I have. I have not even begun to tap into the social resources out there, the corporation resources, the money resources, the marketing resources, the team resources. You cannot be a one-man band. You have to combine with these other resources in a very systematic and very professional, very effective way to produce the results that